Hello Taurus, Elsie here to do a bonus read for you, my bull gang. How are you? Thank you so much for clicking here. I do appreciate you. What's shaking bacon? How's it going? How is your week going up to here? How's the weekend? Tell me please. I'd like to know in the comments. If you are brand new to this tribe, whether you are a Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, or a cross watcher, welcome. Thank you for coming here, and I hope that you will be in the comments. All right, let's take a look here. We're just going to use Tarot Taurus, and you know how it goes, right? For those of you who have been here before, you know the drill, and that is that I do not date or time these readings. They are going to resonate or they won't. They could resonate in the future and maybe now. Who knows, right? It could even be like it feels like a past reading for you, but I do intend for this reading, my intention as I drop the cards is this is predictions. All right, here we go. Let's talk about a Taurus. Oh, look at that. Okay, one has flown out. It is the Nine of Cups. It's a good start. Tell me more about the Nine of Cups, please, for Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Taurus. We have the Five of Swords. It feels like somebody released something and they're really happy about it. That's what it feels like here. It feels like someone threw down the damn swords and said, I'm out. I don't really care. I'm out. And it made you happy. It feels like you've released something here. You've released some tension. Somebody, and maybe it's not even a person. Maybe it's a situation that you didn't know what to do, or you knew you needed to make a decision, but you knew that that person was going to throw down their swords and leave, or that you were going to have to back right out of the situation. But I'm going to say it makes you happy. It's like it's a release of energy that makes you happy, and it also pushes you forward into opening your arms for whatever's to come. We have the Queen of Water, and so whatever's to come is good. I feel like you've got your arms open to love now. I feel like whatever this is here, this is something that you were, I don't think you were holding on to it because you were incapable of letting it go, but I think that you didn't want the argument. You didn't want the fight. You didn't want to cause, drama and fanfare. And I feel like you finally came to a point where I think you did it kindly. I think that you released somebody in a kind way. That's what it feels like here, that you're like, you know what, I'm going to throw down these swords and I'm going to go, and I don't want to fight about it. With the Nine of Cups here, it feels like you didn't fight about it. It's like you walked away, but you did it in a way that was kind and compassionate and loving, I want to say. But I want to say that this isn't what you deserve, Taurus. This is what you deserve. You deserve someone who gives that back to you, who reciprocates your compassion, your love, and your kindness, your depth of love. And I think your arms are open to it now because I feel like you've released something. Whether this is maybe a thought pattern, it could be for some of you. A thought pattern, a way of life. You were doing something that wasn't making you happy and you didn't want to speak up about it because you knew it would cause a fight and you just didn't want to have to do that. Ooh, okay. There it is, a little bit of growth. I like it. So you threw your seeds in a different direction, right? It's the seeds of intention. And the intention to nurture it, wait, be patient, watch it grow, right? Patience is earth energy, right? Whether you're Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. It's a patience thing, moving slowly. And I also want to say that I feel that after a long while, you decided that the lemon was not worth the squeeze. Like the juice was not worth the squeeze. You were putting in a lot of effort. You were putting in a whole lot of effort here and you weren't getting much out of it. That's what it feels like here. And it was something that it's time to go because it's time for you to grow. And I think you were patient with the situation. Whatever the situation is, it'll be different for all of you. You can let me know in the comments. But whatever the situation was, you were patient with it. You thought it was going to change and it didn't. So I think you had to bring the Five of Swords. And I feel like with the Five of Swords, you didn't want to cause conflict. You didn't want to get into a battle. It was a personal difference and you didn't want to get into the battle. But yeah, I feel like you were stuck here for a really long time. Now, this could be any situation, a job, a relationship with a friend, a family member, take it as it resonates. But it is a situation that you just didn't want to have to deal with, isolation, alienation, all that stuff that comes when we have a hard conversation with somebody. Yeah, it was a Tower. Look at that. The Tower had to come to shake you out of this Hanged Man energy because I feel like you had stopped. You had stopped or you were stuck. The Hanged Man is like, this person is it's like self-sacrifice, right? It's like hanging here, it's like doing the same thing over and over with the same result, wanting a different result, but getting the same result. And that's a little bit of insanity, right? And it does feel like the situation was that. I feel like you were trying to see it from their side. You were trying to figure out the situation. Like, you didn't want to have to leave the job. You didn't want to have to sell the house. You didn't want to have to do that thing, but the Tower came and you have to. And that's the truth of it. And the reason that the Tower came is because of the Seven of Pentacles. So when you signal to the universe, whether that's energetically, telepathically, whatever you're doing in your life to move forward, the universe says, okay, you're ready for change here. You're trying to grow. You're nurturing the self. Now you're focused on yourself, now that you've let this go. And now it's time for change. And I feel like the Tower comes as mercy to bust you out of this hanged man energy. And I think it just makes room for this beautiful stuff here. It makes room for the Queen of Cups to be here. This is feminine energy, feminine leaning, but please know that the Queen also has masculine energy. We all do, right? People, plants, animals. And so don't get hung up with the person who's on the card here. We could be talking about feminines or masculine. We have Pisces energy. We have Scorpio. We have Cancer energy here as well. Yeah. We have the Ace of Wands. So I feel like pulling yourself out of the situation, out of this negative space, whatever this was, I feel like brings you new life. It breathes new life into you. You're excited. You're excited for what's to come. Now, I want to say that the Tower is not exciting. The Tower is always a shit show. I'm just going to be honest with you, Taurus. The Tower is always a shit show. And when the Tower comes, it's to break down the old illusion, the things you thought you knew, the life you thought you knew, the way you thought it was going. It's going to bust it all in half. But I think that when the dust clears, when the Tower finally falls and the dust clears, I feel like it's the Ace of Wands. It's a brand new beginning that's really exciting. You see the path in front of you. And I feel like the Tower comes to, like I said, bust you out of this hanged man energy here, where you're trying to feel it out with your gut, not really sure what to do. Tell me about the Five of Swords. What's this thing here? And when I read the past, y'all, when I do that for you, it's just so you can identify if this is your reading, right? Got the Four of Swords. 4 and 5 is 9. This situation, whatever it was, had you in a constant worry. You were losing sleep. Your health wasn't good. I feel like you were putting a lot of your energy into it and you weren't getting a lot out of it, because the Four of Swords is somebody who's like, little to no communication. It's kind of spotty communication. I feel like that hanging on to this Ace of Swords, you had to say something, right? And with the Five of Swords, you had to say something, but you weren't saying something. Right? And I feel like it puts you into this place of worry. Worry about what's going to happen. I've got the Six of Cups in the reverse. And sometimes we stay in situations, whether it's a job or the place that we live, the community we live in, the state that we live in, the province we live in. Sometimes we do that because it's tradition. Our family's always been there. I want to say that with the Six of Cups and the Eight of Swords, it tells me that you're stuck. The tradition, and this is I'm not trashing tradition. Everybody has beautiful traditions in their families, and some that just don't serve us. And I feel like you're somebody who is trying to carry on tradition in the family, or in the relationship, or do the same thing that your parents did. Like maybe you're someone whose parents had a very successful relationship, and you're trying to just emulate that. But I feel like this is what happened here, right? It feels like you get stuck in your head because that's not your path. It's someone else's path. Tradition is someone else's path. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's your path. So I feel like whatever was going on back here, that somebody wasn't giving you enough information, they weren't speaking with you, little to no communication. Could be a person, could be a job, take it as it resonates. But we do have the Eight of Swords. And so it's got you stuck there. You were very stuck there. And it might be because of tradition. It might be because you have a long history with wherever you were living, or the person you were talking to, or the job that you've been at. And the Six of Cups in the reverse tells me, did any of it matter? Does tradition really even matter when it comes to a place where you're not happy anymore? It doesn't matter if you've been at your job for 20 years. That's no gold medal. If you're unhappy there for at least 15 of those years, or if you're in a, a lot of people like to throw the number out. I've been married for 20 years. Well, I did that too, and I was miserable for 11 of those years. And sometimes it happens that way. And I'm not saying everybody who's married is miserable, but I'm saying that I feel like whoever I'm talking to here, that it was something that you were doing because you thought you should, and not because it was something that made you happy. So I think you grow in love for yourself. And I think that's why you make this decision, because we do have the Seven of Pentacles here. You're very patient with the love that's growing for the self. And I think it's took a very long time for you to come to this aha moment, to get this moment of clarity. It took you years to get here, I think. So for some of you, maybe you were in a very long-term relationship or in a job for 20 years or something like that. And it took you a long time to realize or get the clarity about, look, I'm doing this for somebody else and I need to do it for myself. I need to love me. I need to be happy doing the thing that I'm doing. And I feel like you were patient, waiting to see if your environment, whatever environment you were in, if that environment was going to allow you to love yourself too. I think that the Tower came. I think that you were stuck here, and it was a place where you couldn't get out of, and I think that's why the Tower came here. Tell me about this Tower. We've got the Seven of Cups. Yeah, it feels like you're questioning it here. It starts to feel overwhelming and you're questioning, do I really love this? Do I love this job? Do I love the house that much? Do I love the environment I'm in? Do I love it enough to be stuck here forever? Right? You start to look at it differently, right? We can look at Seven Cups as being lots of opportunity, lots of love opportunities of the heart. But when we see it, when it's in a different perspective, right? Which is the Hanged Man. The reason that you get into the Hanged Man energy is because you want to see it from a different perspective. This is a different perspective of the Seven of Cups. Somebody has two cups here, and we're looking up at the Five. Am I staying here, and am I unhappy staying here? Right? And the Two of Cups doesn't have to mean love. It can mean anything. We've got the High Priestess and the 10. Yeah, see, your gut is telling you. Your gut's telling you that you're carrying around this heavy burden for some reason. And I want to say that you're being quiet about it. Whatever burden it is that you're carrying, that you don't want to make a decision because it would be too emotionally overwhelming to do that. It feels like the Tower comes for mercy, always, 100% of the time. That we should welcome the Tower because it comes to shake things up, right? Change and upheaval. And it's not a happy time. It's an overwhelming time. But I feel like the High Priestess is telling me that you already knew that. You had it in your gut. It was already feeling terrible, feeling heavy, carrying around burdens. I feel like the Tower comes to allow you to drop the burdens because when the 10 is in the room, so is the 1. We go to the end, we drop the burdens, and then we get to start over again at the Ace, right? It's all about cycles. At the bottom of the deck, we have Justice. Look, you get your karmic justice by making your decision. This kind of sounds like another reading that I did today. It sounds like one of the collective readings that I did today. It might have been about the new moon, maybe? I'll put it up at the end here, just so for reference here, if you want to take a look at it. Tell me about this. Tell me about the Hanged Man, please. What's the perspective you're trying to get here? So you go into hermit mode here, Virgo energy. You go into hermit mode here, trying to find wisdom, get your light, find the answers. And that's why you're in the Hanged Man energy. Yeah, there you go. It's the liberation. So 1 in the Queen's hand and the 5, that's 6. You're moving along now, right? So it's the getting the perspective with the help of the Tower. I feel that the Tower pulls everything down, the illusion, so you can finally feel what's in the gut. You can finally feel your intuition working here. And it causes you to move into this energy of liberation. Look at that. The Page of Pentacles shows up. Look, I can't write this beautiful story for you, Taurus. We've got the Hermit, so you go and you find the wisdom. You find the wisdom to stand on your own 2 feet. This is the divorcee. For some of you, it could be a relationship that you've liberated yourself from. It doesn't have to be. But truthfully, what this is, it is a feeling, right? It's a feeling and a clarity in the mind that I'm worth more than that. I'm just going to stand up and say it. And I know some people aren't going to like it, but I feel like you say it or do it in a a way that's really kind and not aggressive, but assertive, right? You're just like, I gotta do this. I need this new beginning here. I can no longer hang around and wait for someone to do their business while it's affecting me and taking away my time that I could have in the future. So I think that you realize that you're the Queen of Swords. This might be a lesson that you had to learn. We've got the Page of Pentacles, which tells me that now that you have got your answer, that you realize you must move forward here. I feel like it opens you up. Like this person here, you can see they've got their arms open to whatever may come. And what they got their arms open to is the Queen of Cups. So I feel like you've got your arms open to your intuition now. Now you're listening to the self. Now I think you're listening to your own needs is what I want to say. You're open to listening to the universe and your own needs, Taurus. There it is, the Fool. There it is right there, right? You liberate yourself, stand on your own feet, say what you got to say, and it's time for things to change. You're now putting effort into whatever you want in your Pentacle world. We have the Fool. We do have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. So I feel like you do have this new beginning. I feel like you are taking a leap of faith, but you're doing it slowly and contemplatively, right? You're really contemplating what you're doing because wisdom is here. And that's who the Hermit is, right? Wisdom, you're in the mind. You now have more wisdom than you have. You've now learned the lessons of the Queen of Swords and possibly the Queen of Cups. So I feel that although you do take a leap of faith toward love or toward whatever the Queen represents, compassion, kindness, psychic energy, it feels like that you move things slowly. I want to say that things don't move fast. You're really doing it slowly. It is a new beginning here. You are at the crossroads of your life. There it is. The Hermit, the Hierophant tells me that you've learned a lesson. You've learned now, Taurus, that you are being held to a higher standard, that you are someone who is the leader, not the follower. You make the traditions. You don't follow the traditions. You make the traditions. You're the one who's teaching other people about traditions. And, whether they want to follow them or not is up to them. But I feel like you've learned a lesson here. When the Hierophant shows up, you've learned the higher self. You're now seeing things from a different perspective because you were brave enough to hang around in the Hanged Man energy for a while. I think that's kind of beautiful, don't you? We have the Six of Wands, and that is victory after the fight. And this is quite a fight. It does feel like that. We do have the Queen of Wands. There you go. There you are. No more lying to yourself. No more lying to yourself, and we do have the Queen of Wands who is going to have victory. So you might have fire in the chart. You don't have to, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, but I feel like whatever it is that you're about to do independently, because this person is independent, they are the divorcee, whatever you're about to do independently, you know how to do it, and you'll do it intuitively, because this person is not taking a step forward unless they feel the fire in their heart to do so. And this is victory after a long fight. And so I feel like you've been through a lot. Look, the Queen of Wands sits on the throne regardless. She's just going to bulldoze it all, and she's going to sit on that throne. She's sitting on that throne, even though everything that came to kill her made her stronger. So this reading, I feel, is about you because you've shown up, but I also feel like it's about the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. And the only one we're missing is the Queen of Pentacles, right? So it feels like you're going through a lot of lessons, Taurus. It does feel like a lot of lessons, but look, you should be really proud of yourself because the Hermit's here. You figured it all out on your own, intuitively, with your intuition. And although the Tower came here, it is a shit show. Just going to say, although the Tower came here, you end up here. You end up at the beginning again. Because back here it was really heavy, right? All right. I'm going to leave that right there, Taurus. Thank you so much for coming here and watching. I'll be back because I love you and I'm always back. I'm out for now. Bye.